Hi again. Just finished showing you the salute, and actually I got an email from someone wanting to know how about a little history of what we're doing. Okay? This is called the 5-family, 5-animal style of Kung Fu. It's as taught by Grandmaster Arkwai Wang, who learned from priests from the Shaolin Temple. Let's see. I started myself in 1955. My brother was a black belt in judo, and he studied at the Kodokan in Japan. The U.S. military sent him there. He was big. My brother was a big guy, 6'6", and anyway, he taught basic training, self-defense, Fort Dix, New Jersey, back in the 50s. So from that, he got transferred, he went to Korea, this and that. I started boxing, and I boxed at Stillman's Gym in New York. I had a trainer, Charlie Goldman. Charlie Goldman just happened to be Rocky Marciano's trainer. And it was pretty good. It was, I loved it. I loved the competition. I loved the interaction. I loved being hit. Not really. But anyway, it was really good training. I kept that up until I went into the Marine Corps. I went into the Marine Corps in 1963. I got a chance to travel overseas, and in Okinawa, I was stationed at Camp Hansen, and I had a chance to go off base and practice with a Master Shimabuku. Okay, this was called Ishinryu Karate, and it was fascinating. From there, I never stayed long enough to actually consider it my style, okay? And I was just starting to understand what martial arts really was at that time. This is the early 1960s. I went to Vietnam. Vietnam, I happened to land at Chu Lai. Chu Lai, I went with a convoy to Da Nang with the Korean Rock Brigade, Korean Marines. And let me tell you, they're tough. These guys are tough. They worked out. All their free time was spent working out. They were out of their minds. I was brought into it with them. I practiced with them until I, was knocked around. I loved it. I got a chance to go to Hong Kong. Now I'm talking about this as a span of 2 years, 2.5 years. I got a chance to go to Hong Kong, where I was introduced to Kung Fu for the first time, and I knew when I saw it that Kung Fu that was it. That was what I wanted. All right? I couldn't keep it up over there, the martial arts training, and when I got released from active duty, I went back to New York. New York, I moved to California so that I could practice Kung Fu with Master Wang, who was recommended to me at that time as there were only 2 teachers in the United States who were recommended, who would teach a foreigner, okay, a Lo Fang. They wouldn't, there was a Jin Fun Mark in New York, and just as I was looking for him, he moved to Minnesota. I didn't want to move to Minnesota. California was good. It took me about 6 tries. He finally accepted me as a student, and I stayed with him for many years. He actually told me to open a school. Someone wanted to pay him to open a school, and he said, okay, my student will open it. So I was there. To make a long story short, that school has been going on now since 1972, 82, 92, 02, 12, 40 years, long time. I still have some of my main students. I've taught thousands of students. I have a core group which are good. They're really good. Anywhere you go, in Texas, in New York, in Washington, I've got Jessica, I've got Flavio, I've got Ladd, I have Tim in Texas, other guys in Florida, whatever. Anyway, we have a core group in California, in Los Angeles, West Los Angeles, at a place called Stoner Park. Stoner Park is at Stoner in Missouri, right off of Santa Monica Boulevard, in between Santa Monica and Olympic. It's a big park. There's a rec room there. They have the rec room 2 to 3 days a week. And my friend Jim, there's Jim, Jay, there's another Jim, there's a Patrick, there's Ramsey, there's a whole group of people. There's a whole group. John Dye was my second student. He's been with me 40 years. All right? These guys can teach. All right? Now, Jim doesn't know it, but I'm going to give you his telephone number. Jim, sorry. This is where they are. Stoner Park at the Rec Room, West Los Angeles, California. Stoner in Missouri. That's Jim's telephone number. Call him. He'd be happy to hear from you. He'll give you any information you need on the class. The class meets 2 to 3 times a week. Talk to him. Okay? What else can I tell you? Global warming. If nothing else, it'll warm you up. Keep practicing. Kung Fu is good for you. Look what it did to me. I'm 68 years old. When I was in the Marine Corps, I happened to be in an area where they were dropping bombs. They were dropping bombs, they were spraying fields, and I'm a victim of what they call Agent Orange. Okay? Supposedly my legs don't work, my arms don't work, nothing works. I breathe chemicals that have completely debilitated me, and I'm fighting. I'm fighting it. Kung Fu is a miracle. Without it, I don't know what I'd do. Stay with it. Speak to you soon.